Hello, Miss Raybold. You and I have never met. Philip Clark, of course.
Gina.
Reason we're reaching out to you now is to talk to you, see what can be done. Gina's had Philip Wreck. Her and my son have physically seen him try to run them off the road. Saturday passed, we had somebody follow us down the driveway, called the sheriff's department. They said we need to get a hold of you.
Get a protection
She
order.
called the sheriff's department again.
That on Saturday the guy said to get a protection order.
Yep, deputy said get a protection order and everything. So we want to know what's going on with that, if you're able to achieve getting that. Then Sunday, after the deputy left, between Saturday night and Sunday morning, somebody tortured one of our cats, pretty much disemboweled it.
Yeah, he died.
Woke up Sunday morning and there was blood around its lower abdomen, rectum area. And then it passed away Sunday. So Gina called and talked to somebody in your office Monday, and the person got rude.
First I called
she called the sheriff's department.
I called the sheriff's office about our cat, and I talked to the dispatcher. I called him on the phone, which was probably my first mistake, because usually I use my live call clicker, and that will call and leave 2 trails of paperwork. But I called on my phone, the non-emergency number for the Miami County Sheriff, and I got a dispatcher. She was very, very rude on the phone and told me that either somebody would come out and see me or they would call me back. And about an hour later, I got a call back from a private number, and I figured that was probably the sheriff's deputy. He never gave me a name or anything like that. But I was so distraught and stuff, I didn't even think to ask for a name. And he proceeded to tell me that the Wrecks were known to be slumlords, but not known to be violent. And he also told me that Bob Wreck was crazy. And then he told me that I was walking around with a target on my back.
Watch your back.
And to watch my back, because I was walking around with a target on it. And he got off the phone, and I got to thinking about it. I was actually talking to him on the road. He was off the road now. He came home because of
all this.
Feeling that something was going to happen to me and Isaiah. Because Philip Wreck is just over the past weekend tried to run us off the road. We saw him. It was his truck. It was him driving. There's no mistake about it. Isaiah could tell you too. Isaiah is no longer living here. He's
staying with his cousins.
Yeah, and he doesn't want to come back. He thinks downtown Dayton's a better choice than up here. But anyway, this cop, this sheriff that called me, I got to thinking about it. Why would a sheriff tell me that, I got a target on my back and that I need to be careful? And I got to thinking about how the dispatcher was acting. She was a lady. I didn't get her name either. But she was a lady, and it started dawning on me. This is higher and deeper and wider than I ever thought, and probably more than likely she was a friend of the Wrecks, and she gave them my number, and they called on a private number, and they threatened me. And so Philip told me to call your attorney's office, and I did, and I spoke with a lady there who answered the phone. She was really nice, and she said that you were still gone and that there was an attorney there. And when he got on the phone, he did not give his name, did he? Because you were on the call too.
No.
And he told me he didn't want my life story, and he didn't know what was going on.
She was trying to fill him in on what's going on.
On what was going on.
And he proceeded to get attitude with her and said, I don't want to know your whole story, your whole life story. And what's going on? I've got 9 people waiting on me.
Yeah, and I was just sobbing. I mean, my cat had been laying on my front porch with their bowels cut out of their body and died on my front porch. And, yeah, I got off the phone sobbing. As a matter of fact, I told that attorney guy, because I wanted to know how to get an order of protection, because my cat, and because the deputy sheriff that was here on Saturday night was very gentle and very kind, and he said, you need to get a protection order. You need to get a protection order. This is escalating, and nobody at the sheriff's office will help me with that, and stuff, and Yeah. I personally want to quit this battle. I personally just want to disappear and be like I never even existed in this whole mess. They have been firing 5 shotguns at night, or guns of some sort around the mobile home. They've more than one time tried to run us off the road. Philip noticed the other day, because there's this black Escalade that will get so close to our car that you can't even get the license, and they'll follow me and stuff. And it just so happened that the other day he was driving, and tell her who appeared.
Was coming down their driveway and just pulled into our driveway. We'd been out all day doing something. Just pulled into our driveway.
Bombing for fleas.
And I happened to look in the mirror, and all of a sudden 2 little lights come flying up behind me down our driveway. And I was like, oh, here we go. They got up on our back end. As we went around the curve, they disappeared. Went back out to try to find out where they're at, and they disappeared.
Gone through the field. You can see the tracks through the field the next day.
And next day I went out there, and I could see where they cut down into the field beside our driveway.
To go into the wrecks.
Come around the backside, around our driveway on the other side of the trees, because there's like a patch of trees of our property. The trailer sits. And you can drive around the outside of it in the field where the farmer's field is and stuff. And I pretty much believe that while the deputy was here, they were out there in the trees listening, and all that stuff. And then the next day we get up and our cat has been tortured. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of suspicious and funny.
And then this phone call, this sheriff, quote unquote, that called me back. I do have the record of the phone call. I kept that on my phone, but yeah, I mean, there ain't nobody here I trust. There's not anybody. You know, people can say, call the sheriff. Well, how'd this happen? I had a quote-unquote deputy sheriff tell me that we've got a target on our back. And I mean, just, yeah, and just, you know, just, a deputy sheriff wouldn't tell me that another tenant or another person in the population of their county was crazy. I mean, I just got to thinking about that whole conversation, and that dispatcher that I called, she gave them the information that I called. I know she did. I know that the cops are going to cover for themselves. That's what they do. My brother-in-law is a sheriff. I mean, I know about the Brothers in Blue and all that stuff. But these people, I don't care what anybody, when he was saying, oh, the wrecks are only known to be slumlords, they're not violent. Well, that's not the stories I've gotten from people. They got people, a lady in Greenville who a little over a year ago died in her mobile home, burnt to death. The violent acts of women who have been sexually assaulted, raped, harassed. My stories are different from other victims. These people are violent. These people are violent people. And, I mean, Philip Reck is, I watched him go. I mean, we had turned down 721. Isaiah could tell you himself. It scared me and him to death. We turned off at 36, going on to 721 to go to Greenville. We were going to the Y. And this was one occasion. There's been several, but this just last week. And we got past all the little houses where there would be any kind of other witnesses. And out of nowhere, here comes Philip Reck's green Ford Ranger behind us, going anywhere from 80 to 100 miles an hour. He got beside us, and literally he looked at us and smiled and then tried to cut us off. But grateful to God, he was going so fast. By the time he cut over, he had already passed me enough that he didn't hit us. And within the span of about 10, maybe 30 seconds, 10, 20, 30 seconds, he was already gone. Gone. We've had him come up behind us and get so close to us behind that Isaiah would still be in a seatbelt, and he would be trying to get their license plate number, and they would turn off, and there wouldn't even be a driveway or a road there. They would just turn off into the grass and be gone. That's a Chevy Escalade that's done that. We've had cars. It's a black Chevy Escalade that Cadillac Escalade. Well, they're made both by GM. Sorry about that. But the Escalade that's black and the windows are tinted so deep you can't even tell there's anybody in the car. Philip was with us, so we went to the Bradford, park to ride bikes, and Gretchen Wreck pulled up and sat there and watched us ride bikes. They didn't get out of their car or anything. They watched us ride bikes. And I need to know. I need to know if we stand a chance, or do I need to quit, because these people will kill us. And I believe that. The deputy sheriff that was out here on Saturday, he pretty well believes that too. And like Philip said, there's no doubt in my mind that they weren't, if not just Philip Wreck, then possibly several of the Wrecks and their henchmen, as I call them, standing around listening when the sheriff was here, the deputy sheriff. It was Philip Wreck's truck that followed us up. They just had their, we call them lights, little tiny lights on the truck. Lights. But you can see that I've seen that truck and been followed by it enough. It was Philip Wreck's Green Ranger. I don't know if it was him driving it. But, yeah. And you could see the tracks in I sent you that video, but you could see the tracks in the grass. And that's the part of the yard in the videos that I sent you, as compared to where Bob lives and where their rock quarry is and where their auto place is. Those tracks went on the side that go right there to the auto place that Philip Wreck runs. And, yeah, I mean, yeah, at night we constantly have some kind of engines running around in the fields that we sit next to. Constant. At night, Isaiah and I sleep out here in the sectional. Isaiah's been sleeping with his BB gun that looks like a shotgun, and I sleep with the one that looks like some kind of handgun.
357.
Yeah, it looks like a 357. We sleep out here what we can sleep. They throw stuff onto the mobile home at night. You can hear it. Sometimes it's animals like raccoons, and you can hear that, and of course they're not throwing them, but other times it's rocks or something that they throw, and you can hear the guns going off and stuff. They've tore up my car. I showed you that. There's no doubt about that, because I looked out the window right there where I got my Don't Tread on Me blanket. I was asleep on that part of the couch, and I woke up, my dog started barking, and can you hold that? My arm's starting to hurt.